Welcome to Dave's Cooking Show, and for you today, we have a Siracha BBQ Meatloaf. All right, let's get into it. In the bowl, I added 1 3/4 pound to 2 pounds of 80/20 ground chuck. The dry stuff consisted of 6 tablespoons of breadcrumb, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of white pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then I added a couple of tablespoons of ketchup, really to act more as a binder. And after a couple of turns, as you can see, I stopped it and I decided to add an egg just to kind of bind it a little bit more. Then gave it a few more turns around the old mixer, and we should be ready to go. As you can see, well, you can't really see it, but that's where I was adding the egg. Then a couple more swings around, and let's get ready for the meatloaf pan. By the way, you should be preheating your oven to 350 degrees. Okay, as you can see now, I have my meatloaf in the meatloaf pan. If you don't happen to have one of these, you can just use a regular old loaf pan. I recommend getting one of them because it keeps the meatloaf from being less greasy. And like I said, you can buy one on Amazon for like 15 bucks. So, pop it into that 350 degree oven we were talking about for at least 40 minutes. And while it bakes, let's learn how to make the barbecue sauce for this. The Siracha Bourbon Barbecue Sauce. All right, to a pot, I have 1 cup of brown sugar. Follow that by 3/4 of a cup of ketchup. Then you want to add 3/4 of a cup of bourbon. Any bourbon will do, just use your favorite. Then add a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. And then you want to add a 1/4 cup of Sriracha sauce. If you want this barbecue sauce a little spicier, of course, add a little bit more Sriracha. Then you want to add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Then you want to add a 1/2 teaspoon of chipotle powder. And then you want to add a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and salt and pepper. Then you want to grab a whisk and just whisk everything until it's all nice and blended together. Then you want to bring it over to your range and simmer over a medium-low heat for 10 to 12 minutes or until you get the consistency that you like. I think I actually let mine simmer for about closer to 20 minutes, but 10 to 12 minutes is the optimal. And that's how you make the barbecue sauce. Okay. With about 10 minutes left to go, it's time to put that barbecue sauce to kind of create a glaze for our meatloaf. Meatloaf's been cooking away rather nicely. And basically, you just want to squirt a generous amount of barbecue sauce on the meatloaf. Grab a brush it around, add more till you got a glazed coating to your liking. And then, again, pop it back in for 10 minutes or till it's 165, kind of whichever comes the latter. Again, you don't want to add the barbecue sauce beforehand because the sugar will burn. All right, see you in 10 minutes. All righty, and through the magic of cooking show editing, our meatloaf is done. And I have to say, this meatloaf was absolutely delicious. There wasn't even enough left over the next day for meatloaf sandwiches. So I really recommend trying this one. But that is Siracha BBQ Meatloaf. Done.